So today we're going to take a look at what's going to happen if the Byzantine Empire reunites in the modern day. The Byzantine Empire was one of the strongest empires in the entire history of mankind, and it was also a very long-lasting empire, which saw its end in 1453 when Constantinople was taken by the Ottoman Empire. But yeah, let's see what happens if they reunite in the modern day. But yeah, I also need to mention the fact that this map is from the times when Belisarius was around. He tried to reconquer all of the Roman Empire, to revive Rome, but he kind of failed. So yeah, this was the Byzantine Empire at its peak back in 555 AD. So yeah, and there's also one more confusion here. Now the Byzantine Empire came into existence when the Roman Empire collapsed, but we really can't tell which country owns the Byzantine Empire in the modern day. I mean, the capital city Constantinople is now in Turkey, but then again the Turks are different people. But yeah, we're just gonna assume that the Byzantine Empire changes its capital back to Rome, but they are still known as the Byzantine Empire. This means that Italy is the country controlling all of the Byzantine Empire. But yeah, first of all, the Byzantine Empire is probably a very unstable country, as most of the countries which are included in the Byzantine Empire are Muslims, or they are Muslim countries, so they really don't like being under the Byzantine control. Also, a lot of countries got slapped around by the Byzantine Empire, so yeah, let's see. Now for the first 50 or 100 years, the Byzantines are going to try to stabilize the country, and now we are going to skip 100 years into the future, where now we can see that the Byzantine Empire is a very strong nation who is also very stable, and now they are going to start their military campaigns. We can see that the Byzantine Empire is now recruiting troops from all over the country, and it seems like they are ready for their first military campaigns. For that, we can see that the Byzantine Empire declares war on Tunisia, Egypt, the remaining parts of Italy, as well as Iraq. Also, I need to mention the fact that major alliances like NATO, CSTO, the EU, or the UN, they do not exist in my videos. If they would exist, they would not let these countries to expand. So yeah, immediately we can see that the Byzantine troops take out all of the remaining parts of Italy, and Tunisia also did not have any military to defend the country. We can see that the Byzantine troops are now pushing into Egypt, mainly following the Nile River, which had most of the population. We can see that they also pushed down the coast, making Egypt a landlocked country. But with all of their major cities taken, we can see that the remaining parts of Egypt just go ahead and surrender, and this was a decisive victory for the Byzantine Empire. Now Iraq is a very unstable country. Already they are fighting civil wars, but because we skipped 100 years into the future, I don't know what has happened. But regardless, we can see that the Byzantine troops have now taken Baghdad, and they follow the Euphrates River. Eventually, after losing all of their major cities, we can see that Iraq also finally goes ahead and surrenders, and this leaves us with Turkey. The Turks surrender without a fight, and this entire military campaign was a decisive victory for the Byzantine Empire. Now let's take a look at a peace negotiation. Okay, so if we take a look at a peace negotiation, we can see that all of these countries got completely annexed by the Byzantine Empire, except for Egypt. This military campaign was just to see if the Byzantine army was capable, which was very capable, now that it's proven. But yeah, the main goal of the Byzantine Empire here is going to be reviving the Roman Empire, and to do thus, they won't have to expand to the east or to the south, but instead they are going to be invading the European countries. To do so, we can see that the Byzantine Empire is now further recruiting troops from all over the country. This army numbers at around 800,000 soldiers, and it seems like they are ready for their major military campaigns in Europe. The Byzantines are going to start off by declaring war on Hungary and Austria. Now both these countries were already pretty screwed, but still we can see that the Byzantine troops are now pushing into Hungary, and unfortunately we can see that the Hungarians lost their capital city, and at the same time we can see that the Byzantines are now pushing into Austria, and again we can see that the Austrians lost their capital city of Vienna, which leads Austria out of this war. The same troops push into Hungary, who after realizing they can't do anything, just goes ahead and surrenders, and this was another decisive victory for the Byzantine Empire. In a peace treaty, we can see that all of Austria as well as Hungary got completely annexed, and now we can see that all of the European countries are militarizing their countries, as they're really getting scared of the Byzantine Empire. Wow, this looks horrible. But just to make the borders look good, we can see that the Byzantine Empire sends an ultimatum to Romania, demanding their annexation, and Romania had no other choice but to accept the ultimatum, because they don't want to get rolled over by the Byzantine Empire. We can now see that the Byzantine Empire is also strengthening their navy, which is by far one of the best navies in the world, about as good as the US Navy, but in the Mediterranean they are dominating right now. We can see that more and more naval assets are being made, and this invasion is going to be a naval invasion. And if you already haven't guessed, we can now see that the Byzantine Empire declares war on Spain, and now Spain is biting their nails. We can see that immediately these islands were taken by the Byzantine navy, and now they have a stronghold near Spain, who is really scared right now. We can see that the Byzantine navy makes a landing in Catalonia, and eventually we can see that all of Catalonia is under the Byzantine control. We can see that the Byzantine navy has made more and more naval landings in the south. Eventually all of these armies meet up, and they also meet with the main army. All of the troops come down south, and it seems like they are pushing towards Madrid, which is the capital city of Spain. More and more Byzantine troops arrive on the front lines, and we can see that now two armies are pushing towards Madrid, and now we can see that both these armies are on the gates of Madrid, and the Battle of Madrid ends in a decisive Byzantine victory. These parts, after getting encircled, get absolutely smacked around, but with all of this chaos, we can see that the remaining parts of Spain just go ahead and surrender, and now everyone knows how strong the Byzantine army is. In a peace treaty, we can see that all of Spain got completely annexed, and now the Byzantine army is present in Spain, which makes the Portuguese very uncomfortable, and they get too uncomfortable, which makes the Byzantine very unhappy, and the Byzantines declare war on Portugal. We can see that the Byzantine troops are now pushing into Portugal, who is really unable to defend itself. We can see that one Byzantine army pushes in, and the capital city of Portugal was taken, which by the way was Lisbon, and the remaining parts of Portugal just go ahead and surrender. And later on we can see that all of Portugal got completely annexed. Now at this point, after having control over all of these very strong countries, which include Italy, Turkey, Egypt, Spain, Portugal, all of the Balkan nations, the Byzantine Empire is probably the strongest country in the world, and that's why all of these countries are unable to defend themselves. But finally, the moment that you've all been waiting for, we can now see that the Byzantines declare war on France, as well as Switzerland, because why not? Now because the Pyrenees Mountains are a natural barrier between the Byzantines and the French over here, and then again the Alps are over here, it's going to be really hard to push in from these sides. But yeah, still, let's see. We can see that the Byzantine troops are now pushing into France from the southern parts, where their navy also comes into action. The troops in the south eventually push around, taking all of the coastline of France down in the south. We can also see that the Byzantine troops are now pushing into Switzerland, but this process is very slow because of the Alps. So yeah, we can see that the Byzantine navy has now reached this gulf, where they completely destroy the French navy. And now we can see that the Byzantine navy has made a naval landing in Brittany, and they take out all of Brittany. They make another landing in Normandy. These troops meet up, and there is this kind of front line. Now I'm not showing France to be very weak here, it's just that the Byzantine army is very overpowered. So yeah, we can see that the Byzantine troops eventually take out all of Switzerland, which gives them another opportunity to push into France as they take out all of Alsace-Lorraine. We can see that the French are getting crippled as they're fighting a two-front war. We can see that both these armies are now pushing towards Paris, and eventually after a very long siege, we can see that Paris was taken. The French are getting absolutely devastated, but finally we can see that the French go ahead and surrender, and this was by far the best victory for the Byzantine Empire. In a peace treaty, we can see that all of France got completely annexed, and this is looking more like the Roman Empire now. And once again, just to make the borders look good, we can see that the Byzantines sent an ultimatum to Germany, requesting all of the southern parts of Germany, which the Germans had to accept. I'm just making this up, but I just wanted to see the borders looking good. Okay, so what is the Roman Empire missing now? The northern parts of Algeria as well as Morocco. There you go, buddy. Okay, so I think that we can finally call this the Roman Empire, with its capital being Rome, and the Roman Empire is the strongest country in the world now, and this is the Roman Empire at its peak. But now comes the interesting part, and that is the division of the empire. Now this has happened countless times to the Roman Empire. The king dies, he had 4 children, and now let's divide up the empire between these 4 children. Wow, this looks horrible. But yeah, we can see that the oldest son got the most amount of lands, and I gave him the most amount of lands because Rome still has to live. We can see that he has all of the original Roman lands, stretching all the way from the Levant to Morocco. The second oldest son got himself all of Spain, France, southern Germany. The second youngest son got himself all of the Egyptian as well as the Libyan parts, who got the least amount of land, and the youngest son got himself all of these lands. But hopefully this guy is going to take over all of these guys because I want Rome to live. But yeah, this is going to be it for today's video. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe, leave a comment, and tell me what you guys want to see in the future. And thank you for watching.